Yukshamesh, welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. Yes, no, it's the Forensic Detailing channel, isn't it? I've been saying it wrong for the last 5 years, never mind. What are we doing in today's video? You'll notice we got the forensics blind out today. So we're going to be blacking out the garage so we can assess the state of the paintwork on this car for paint correction. So when you go into complete darkness, done, and we get a light source, which is somewhere over there, let's turn the lights back on, we get a much better view of the paintwork than looking at it here where it just looks perfect, and it's not. No paintwork is perfect, so that's the aim of this video. Before we get started, as always, do not forget to subscribe, and you can join our private Patreon community, which is a nice, secure, safe, no moaning, detailing forum, if you like, and basic access costs around 75p a month for the tier 1. There's all different tierings. And the beauty of Patreon is that I've got a community of guys that are addicted to detailing like I am. And one of those, Richard, is on a journey of wax making, which is a fantastic journey. And he sent me these 5 samples of waxes that he's making. They're pure organic waxes. So wax, oil, and solvent, which is the best way to start. And just asked me my opinion on them. So, Richard, if you're watching, you're off to a great start, mate. You're off to a great start because these waxes are all viable as well. I was misfiring. I was making ice hockey pucks for a year. So these 3, though, number 3, number 4, and number 5, they're too dry. This one here is definitely too dry. It's normally they start to break down when you work them, whereas this is almost like a paste. So that wax is not quite there. Same with this one, really. Although I can feel the oil a little bit more in this wax. It's cracking. So I think you've got some Montan in here. It's an unusual one, this. Look at that. It's too elastic. It's too elastic, this wax. It needs to break down when you rub it, so it comes away. So it's too gummy. So these 4 and 5 are no-goes, really. 3, the same. It's too dry. It's softer, this wax. But it should be... my finger should be getting covered in wax. And it's not coming away. So these are too gum-like and too much like sort of paste. So they're not quite there. Now these 2, sorry about the camera work, number 1 and number 2, I can smell the solvent. These are much better. So let's just go to number 2. That's much better. Straight away, that's coming off into my finger. And that's a nicely balanced wax, that is. That's really nice. That's pretty impressive. That's good. It's a slight graininess to it, so I can feel the carnauba, but that's lovely and well oiled, that is. That is a good wax, not from using it, but just from the balance, okay? So let's just put that there. And then wax number 1. Now that's nice, but it's slightly too dry. Slightly too dry. But it's better. It's all cracking away there. Whereas you can see this one isn't cracking. Number 2 is the best wax out of all of these. And the balance of that wax is really good. So what I haven't tested is what happens when you lay that wax down. And then you see the cure. Does it take forever? Sometimes with organic wax, it can take forever to cure if it's got loads of oil in it. You never get a full cure with it, as I've talked about sometimes. But that can be okay. So, you might not be after a durability thing. But number 2 is a belter. I spoke to you about solvents as well. Let's get moving. I better get on with this video. So what I'm going to do is we'll turn the lights off now, and we will have a look at the state of the paintwork of the car. Here we go. Boog. Oh, Jesus. Right, light on. So let's just start with the bonnet. Now I'm looking at the camera lens and it looks like absolute perfection. And I'm just coming away from the camera and it's good. It's really, the bonnet, this carbon fibre bonnet, the paintwork is just really good. There's some swirls that I can see that the camera can't quite pick up. Let's just come back a little bit there. That's a better light to see them in. So you see there's just some very fine swirls, but the state of the bonnet on this, some swirls there, is really good. So I've never polished a carbon fibre bonnet before, so I'll just start off. You can see the swirls a little bit there, see them? But I'll just start off with a soft pad on this bonnet and really polish slowly. Some swirlies there. Let's have a look at this wing. Now there's a bit more swirls on this wing. See that? But I mean this is great because there's no real deep gouges or chips or anything like that. So this is just going to be very easy to work on this car. It's really, you could almost go at this, these are light swirls, you could almost go at this with a finishing polish and a soft pad. And if you're patient, you could hit it that way. It doesn't, you know, you see cars that are 10 years old that are really heavily swirled and they need, the quickest way to skin the proverbial cat or rat or whatever it is to cut and finish, you know, go in hard and then refine, and that's the most efficient way. I don't think you need to go in hard with this, and you should only ever go in hard if you need to, because you don't want to waste clear coat, you know what I mean? A lot more swirly down here, as you'd kind of expect. See that? So that'll need that's quite swirly, so that'll need a bit of working down here, and this plastic piece is probably, that's okay. You never look at those, though. You know, I've spoken before. I'll give that a polish down there, that bottom bit, but I won't be going too forensic on it. And the doors are much less the same as the wings. We have swirls, but the great thing about this paintwork is it's all intact. There's a couple of microscopic, and I do mean microscopic, little nicks on the edges somewhere. I think there. I've got a tiny bit of touch up, but you can barely see those. The condition just there as well somewhere. The condition is phenomenal. There's a bit of PPF that comes with these there. You can just see the edge of it. So that's all intact, all good. Rear quarter panel looks good. I did a quick look at the paint depth on these cars. They seem to vary a bit, sort of 110 through to 130 typically. And I don't think this car's never been buffed on, so that's just variation from the factory. There's some fine swirling all in there that you can see. And the softer bumper, ironically, the softer bumper paint down here is really, really good. It's actually flawless, that paint there. There's some little cobwebs there, it's not scratches, there's some little fine scratches there, which is good. And more or less, and this boot lid here is plastic. So again, a few swirls in it, but nothing major. This car can really correct up. And if we go up here, we have the carbon fibre roof, which is a clear coated carbon fibre, and the condition of that, for my eyes, and I'm looking through the viewfinder, looks really good. Jesus, it looks completely swirl free. I wonder if that's because the carbon fibre is harder. That condition looks really good. I'm just trying to find some swirls. There must be some swirls. Maybe they're just harder to see. And there's a piece of gloss black there, which is swirly. And there, look at that. That's nice and swirly. It's the old soft acrylics. So that will polish up. These little seals down here are they're difficult to polish, and they're not too bad. In terms of chips on the front, There's one there. There is it, there. And there's another one. Is that it? Yeah, there's a tiny one there as well. A couple of tiny little stone chips the size of... let's turn the lights back on. A couple of tiny stone chips the size of, not pinheads, but, well, not far off a pinhead. Tiny. Very lucky. No chips on the glass. Very lucky to find one in this condition, actually. There's a couple of tiny little kind of things on the wheels here like that where I'll get a bit of touch up. If anyone knows the colour code for this satin, it doesn't look black to me, it looks like a satin grey on these alloy wheels, let me know. I'll phone BMW. So overall, this car just really needs what I would call light correction. You could choose, I don't know what the most efficient thing is. I don't know how the bonnet's going to behave when you try and polish it. I don't know how the roof's going to behave. And I don't know how the plastic boot lid's going to behave, but it should be the same as a plastic bumper, really. But my approach would be to do a set on an area like down there that's quite heavily swirled, probably with a finishing polish and a soft pad, and look at the level of correction you've got. If that's not quite acceptable, then probably a low cut, you know, something like F6 would be good. We might single stage it. We might single stage it with, you know, something like Rupes Uno or, you know, P6, Koch Chemie P6 with the wax already in there. So we'll play around. The aim for me will be to do it in as least sets possible and then just take my time, do it slowly and enjoy the process. This car is a performance car that flies along at up to 176 miles an hour. I knew the top speed. How sad is that? That means the condition of the car deteriorates over time. So my aim with this car is to not be too precious about it. But I'm struggling with that at the moment. I'm really struggling because I've never owned a car like this before. It's the most valuable car I've ever owned. It's the best conditioned car I think I've ever owned. It's the most complicated, incredible car that I've ever owned. I absolutely love it to bits. But it mustn't become something that is going to cause me problems because the condition's so damn good. You know, I have to let this car accept that it's going to get damaged, accept that it's going to get dirty, and just enjoy everything and make sure detailing adds to the enjoyment of the car and doesn't take away from the enjoyment, or else the car could become a toxic thing and it could become something which is not good for me. You know, which is, you know, it's all about keeping it in a good place, isn't it? So that is the condition. Very lucky to find a good one. And Richard, if you're watching, no, it's number 2. Wax number 2, my friend, is the winner. That's a good platform to build from. And I gave you some tips on trying to use a solvent that doesn't have that intense polish smell is quite a good thing. I'll send you another message on another tip that will help you. What you want to do is once you've got the balance sorted out, and the balance of that wax is spot on, if you can sort that balance out with a different set of solvent, and you should really actually use a blend of solvents, if you can get that balance right, the next step is to replace the oil with something else. And I'll speak to you about that as well. Yeah, there's whatever solvent you're using, the smell isn't particularly pleasant. So yeah, great starting point though. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. If you're new to detailing as well, we have millions of videos we've been doing for the last 5 years, but we also have the Forensics online training course. And as with all the videos, the information is in the description. So thanks for watching. Take care. And I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Bing.